the UK, a group of Filipino nurses get recognized for their efforts amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The UK government has thanked our kababayans for their role in the global health crisis. And recently, the Filipino Nurses Association UK received a national award for its community initiative. Let's hear more about this recognition from nurses Louie Horne, who joins us from Suffolk, and Minnie Klepacz in Bournemouth, joining us from the UK. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations, Louie and Minnie, to this recognition and to this award to NFA UK. First of all, Louie, what does this recognition mean for you as a Filipino nurse in the UK and the organization?
Good afternoon here in UK and good evening there, Rico. So I think this is a response to the tragedy of disproportionate proportion and impact of the pandemic to us. So normally we're not always recognized, we just get on with our jobs. So this is the celebration and recognition of the work that we do here in UK. This is for all Filipino nurses in UK. So we share it to all of them, this award.
Absolutely, Minnie, no? 32,000 Filipino healthcare workers in the UK. And when I was speaking to the UK Minister for Asia, when he was here in Manila, he said that Filipino nurses are one of the most hardworking healthcare workers in Great Britain.
Yes, it's true. And we have led the way during the pandemic. Majority of the nurses are frontline. And it's a great testament to all of them on what they've done to support the UK in fighting the COVID pandemic. So I'm very, very proud to receive this award. And it will mean a lot to a lot of people, to a lot of Filipino nurses here in UK.
And Minnie, let me ask you, this is also a difficult time for many of our kababayan nurses in the UK because it's COVID-19. Now that Filipino nurses have one voice, how is FNA UK helping its fellow members who are challenged during this health crisis?
I think the FNA UK, most of the officers support all of the staff really. We managed to give them like guidance to see how, we have a voice now because we have a culture as Filipino that we are so subservient. We don't speak up. We give them the power and then as well as like to speak up in things that they require in need as well, especially, during the time of the pandemic. So we provide them, additional really support.
And of course, Minnie, this group is barely a year old and you've already won this major recognition. You already have some 2,000 registered members across the UK and regional board of directors from every region in the country. So Minnie, how are you trying to recruit more of our kababayan healthcare workers to join the group?
I think what we do is we inspire people, as we are really in UK as nurses, we are so hardworking. We are passionate in what we do. I think like what I said, nursing is not an occupation, but it's a vocation. So we always encourage our colleagues really in the Philippines to probably, take up really nursing. And this is really to provide and support and provide, safety and care to our patients. So as well as, especially us who's been here for quite a while, you have some already a good support from us to make sure that they are providing, to give them more professional and personal development as well.
And Louie, many members of the group have also lost friends to COVID-19. And despite concerns on safety, many have put their lives on the line to help others. How protected, Louie, are Filipino health workers, especially those assigned in hospital wards exclusive for COVID-stricken patients?
So, Rico, it's very sad. I've seen it firsthand. I mean, I've got 3 wards who were converted to COVID wards. So initially, there's no template for pandemic. So initially, we don't know how things are going to go. But eventually, they eventually got the protection they need. We went through all the daily, weekly, and monthly updates on the PPE. And initially, there was lots of concerns. I mean, it's all over the media. But we made sure that whatever concerns they have a platform, which is the FNA UK, to raise it to us. And it's a safe platform because whatever they raise to us, we go straight to the trust, we talk to them, and that's the kind of active support we give to all the FNA UK frontliners here in UK.
And Louie, you're part of international recruitment, and we know here in the Philippines, many want to work there. What is your advice to them, and how are the new nurses being assisted by the association when they arrive in the UK?
Right. So luckily, it's continuing as part of the international recruitment at SNF, which is my trust. My advice to them is when they arrived here, resilience is the key, I would say, Rico, because they have to almost like develop a thick skin so that they can adapt to the weather, to the culture, and to the way of life. And, you just focus on your goal of why you came to the UK. I mean, unfortunately, we're not as supported in the Philippines as we are here in UK. Financially speaking, you'll be very successful. You'll be able to support your relatives. And my advice is continue taking those exams that's needed for you to come to UK. And when you arrive here, we signpost you to us. And there's a lot of support now since the COVID has highlighted all these disproportionate needs. So there's a lot of support wherever you are in UK. So all over the regions, we've got FNA UK has a representative.
That's absolutely marvelous that every Filipino is helping each other in the UK, particularly in the healthcare sector. And Minnie, yesterday, you were invited by the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson to his residence at 10 Downing Street. What a wonderful experience. And he thanked the National Health Services staff for their efforts in the COVID-19 pandemic response. You had a meeting with him. You interacted with him, Minnie. What was his message to you and your colleagues?
It's really quite really acknowledged. I'm really quite honored to be part as well and to be invited. As you know, we have the Queen's Award, and then you have the Ginebra Award, and then all of a sudden you've been invited by the Prime Minister as well. So I managed to showcase. He managed to speak to me personally as well. So personally, thank myself from all of the hard work that we done, especially during time of the pandemic and difficulties and sacrifices with the healthcare workers. And he managed to say, personally, thank you for all of the Filipino, and as well as I managed to showcase the Filipino Nurses Association, who's been brought up during the peak of the pandemic, and how we managed to support our nurses really during that, that period of time. So it's really quite, overwhelming. He had a good sense of humor, and he displayed a genuine kindness and heartwarming appreciation to all of us. So that's really good.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word on CNN Philippines. We are indeed very, very proud of you and the work that you're doing in the national healthcare system in the UK. Louie Horne joining us from Suffolk in England, and Minnie Klepacz in Bournemouth from the Filipino Nurses Association, UK.